Hey, good evening, everyone. This is Robert with Mr. Texas Real Estate, and this is the Texas Real Estate Radio Network. Hey, thanks for joining us tonight, and if you're watching us on Facebook and YouTube, appreciate it. Got a really busy week this week. This is this is the once in a quarter week where we're doing our mastermind. So, boy, we have a lot of stuff going on. So we have, let's see, tonight for mastermind members only. So while you're listening to this, there are mastermind members out there going out and finding deals. This is the property hunt. We do that the third Monday of every month. So that's going on. Wednesday we have passive investing, and then the big thing is our mastermind. So our mastermind is this weekend. We're going to go over a couple things. It starts Thursday at technically 3 o'clock, but there's another thing at 7, and then all day Friday and all day Saturday. So guys, check your emails and or go to our webpage, mrtxre.com. MR is in Mr. TX is in Texas. RE is in realestate.com. Go to events. Sign up for the mastermind preview. I believe it's only $10, and we're gonna talk about the cost of your why. Everyone wants you to know your why. What's your why? What's your why? Well, we're actually going to figure out what your cost is. How much is that why? I want to go save blind ponies in Hawaii. That's my why. That's why I'm doing this. Well, what does that actually cost? What does that actually cost, right? We always have that fun. Jason and I joke around a lot about the gurus out there talking about the why, But again, I want to start a reserve for blind Shetland ponies, and I want to do it on the Big Island, right? So what does that actually cost? Because a lot of people just come up with their why, but they really don't figure out what the cost is. Because once you have the cost involved, well, heck, man, then it's pretty easy to figure things out, right? We have a lot of people in our mastermind who are like, hey, I just want 125 apartment doors. But let me ask you why, right? What's that going to pay for? What is that really doing? Again, I'm 31 months away from retirement, so I know what I'm planning to do. I know my why, and I also know the cost of it, right? It's about $25,000 a month. So I need to buy enough properties and have enough free and clear properties that are producing $25,000 in cash flow a month. Now, I don't need that to live. There's a nice little buffer in there every month as a reserve, but that's what we're going to need. And so we're going to go over that on Thursday night here at the Texas Real Estate Investment Center starting at 7 o'clock. So go to our page, mrtxre.com. It's Mr. Texas Real Estate, mrtxre.com. Go to events, sign up for the mastermind preview. And again, we'll talk a little bit about that later, what the cost is, all that stuff. You know the number. It's $12,500 for year one, $7,500 for year two, $5,000 for year three, $2,500 for year four, and free thereafter. And we think you're probably going to be involved in real estate, potentially for the rest of your life, but intensely for the next 5 to 7 years. So you'll get some free time out of it as well. All right, so I am back, and Jason is out today, and I think he's going to be out tomorrow. So he's off doing some lecture series today, and then I think he's taking some time off tomorrow. But if you listened last week, I know he went over inflation and the pricing and all this other stuff that's happening, and I'm going to kind of translate it into layman's terms for those of us who do not operate at the MBA level, and I want to kind of give you an idea of what's happening in the market. Like I think I walked into Jason's office about 3 weeks ago, and I said, hey, you know what happened today? And he said, hey, do you know what happened today too? And I said, inflation hit, and he said, inflation hit. Like we were both reading it just from different sources. He was on a website, and I was actually seeing it and prices coming through. So what's going on is inflation is here. And of course it's here. We knew it was going to be here. When you throw $20 trillion at the economy, things are going to happen. There's going to be an adverse reaction, and it's inflation. Now, everyone knows, and everyone's talking about, all the internet memes are about wood, the price of wood. Yes, the price of wood is probably about 100% more than it was this time last year. The price of wood is doubled. A 2x4, which used to be like $2, $2.97, is now $8. A 3/4 inch plywood used to be $28, $29, is now $59. So wood has essentially doubled. But a lot of other things have gone up too. Basically raw materials. So if you've ever been to Home Depot, The way they have it set up is everything on the walls to the right and to the left and the exterior are commodities, right? The gypsum in the wallboard, that's a commodity. The petroleum in the roofing shingles, that's a commodity. The lumber on the other side of the building, that's a commodity, right? Even the plants are commodity. The processed materials are usually inside the middle of Home Depot. I can tell you that everything on the outside is going up. We know that oil is up. We know that oil is over $60 a gallon. Huzzah, right? That's great for Houston. It's great for Texas. But that just means that petroleum products go up too. Transportation is up. That means that moving things around, like gypsum and large cement blocks, goes up. So you'll see inflation mostly on the outside of Home Depot on the ring, and then inside will be a little bit slower. So what we did, and this is what it means to you, if you're buying, if you're flipping, if you're holding, we went out and we bought $5,000 worth of LED lights, faucets, and direct water heaters, tankless water heaters. So we just went out, we had some capital, and we just said, hey, let's just go buy it, and we'll sit on it because we know the price is going up. So if you can, it's time to start planning ahead. Again, what does this mean to you when Jason's talking about inflation and the cap and the Fed and all this other stuff, and overnights and all that stuff? What does it mean to you if you're working in real estate? It means start buying in advance. Like the price of toilets haven't gone up yet, but when inflation works its way all the way down into the trucking world, into the transportation world, you'll see that toilet go up $4, $5. We went with the LED lights that we like, and we went with faucets. We got a good deal on faucets, and then we went with some plumbing. So we're hoarding some of these finished products here. The time to buy wood is long gone, right? So we can't buy that, but we're just kind of hedging. We'll use it all, so there's no big deal. We're not going to waste anything. It's just the net present value of this versus that. The cost of money over the next 6 weeks is kind of what we're hedging. So we're assuming that we're going to do better than a 6% increase on these finished products. Anyway, this is Robert. I'm with the Mr. Texas Real Estate. This is the Texas Real Estate Radio Network. Tonight we're talking about what is happening. What does it mean? All right, we've talked all about inflation and prices and all. What does it actually mean? And we just covered some materials. When we come back from the break, we're going to talk about housing prices and how that affects you. But in the meantime, if you guys want to go check us out at mrtxre.com, MR as in Mr., TX as in Texas, RE as in realestate.com. That's MrTexasRealestate.com. Go out and check out our website. You'll see the event page. You'll see some of the things coming up. We've got a grand opening here on June 17th, which can be a lot of fun. We're rolling in all the vendors and planning the sushi and the barbecue and all that good stuff. So we'd love to see you here. Again, this is Robert with Mr. Texas Real Estate. This is the Texas Real Estate Radio Network. We'll be right back. Hey, welcome back, everyone. Again, Robert here with Mr. Texas Real Estate. This is the Texas Real Estate Radio Network. Hey, if you have a chance, go to our building page. That is going to be REICTX. RE is in real estate, IC is investment center, TX is in Texas.com. You get to see the updated pictures. A-Rock, the updated pictures up yet? Almost. So they're almost up. You'll get to see the new pictures. We got the parking lot done. It is like a different building around here. I came back this today, and holy cow! Like the parking lot got done over the weekend. The vending machines are up. There's copiers up in my office. I was like, whoa, what's going on? So we're just missing a few more pieces of furniture, and then we're at 100%. And then the studio. We got to get the lighting right in the studio, but This will be the last thing we do, but we're almost at 100% here of completion, so we're super excited. And we want to invite you to the grand opening on June 17th. That's a Thursday. Now, it's an all-day event. There's going to be a bunch of different things going on, but the real stuff starts at around 5 o'clock, 5 to 8. There'll be food here. There'll be some barbecue. So we're excited about that. There's a little after party for some of the VIPs, so you can figure out how to get a VIP ticket. And our vendors will be here. There's swag bags and all that other stuff. So we'd love for you to come check out the building. We're at about 82% occupied as far as foot space goes. I'd say about 10 offices left, maybe 9. So if you're thinking about coming to the building, let's make that happen sooner rather than later. You can go right to REICTX, the Real Estate Investment Center, Texas.com, REICTX. You can go look at it. You can message us, and we can get you guys set up to come in and take a look at some of the office space. I think we rented 1 or 2 last week as well, so we might be down to 8. So this is getting exciting. We're getting near 100% occupancy, and now we're going to have to carve some new offices. We're going to have to convert storage rooms now into offices, spaces, and we got to do what we have to do. Anyway, we're talking tonight about what is actually happening when we're talking about inflation. We're talking about prices going up, but what does it mean? What does it mean to you as a real estate investor or a flipper or even a wholesaler? I'll make it real short on the wholesaler. If you're a wholesaler, go get your real estate license. Easy. Okay, if you're a flipper, well, now prices are going up. We did our How to Flip Like a Pro webinar. We do that once a month, and I usually change up and give some updates in there. You can, again, check that out on mrtxre.com, the event page. You can sign up for that webinar. It's free. But I said, hey, we think just overall we're seeing a 20% increase in the price of rehabs, just in general. And that's also on the labor side. So what has happened, I believe there are 17,000 active housing projects right now in Houston, and there's another 3,000 permits that have been pulled. So we're at 20,000 units, housing start units. Some of them are multifamily, a lot of them are single family, a couple duplexes. So all of a sudden, that construction world is coming back. And when that comes back, that means the guy that was your great tile guy who was working at $3 a square foot is now going to work for someone else at $5 a square foot, right? Your framer who is working for you at $25 an hour can now go work for someone else at $45 an hour. So we start peeling off some of these good guys off the top, and labor becomes a bit of a shortage, right? So as prices go up, the same thing with labor. Labor prices go up. It's not just the price of wood, right? It's not just the price of steel. It's not just the price of gas. It's the price of labor because of all those things, right? Gas goes up, and the crew that drives their F-250 that's a gas hog, 9 miles to the gallon, well, they're paying more for gas now. Gas is close to doubled, right? So that means they're going to charge you more. So labor starts going up. Labor is up. Materials are up. When you're doing your calculations, I'd be adding 20%. So what does that mean? That means that just about every guru in the world has got those numbers wrong right now. I'll tell you what I think it means. We were at about $45 a square foot if we're at studs, right? If we had a rehab that we had to go down to stubs, we're about $45 a square foot minus the big 7. We think that's now $56 a square foot. Just a straight up 20%. We think it's at $56 a square foot, which means a lot of these turnkey guys are probably at $60 a square foot, maybe a little bit more. Remember, they have inflation too. Their labor went up. The price of gas went up. Their rent went up. Their insurance went up. Right? We have, there's no secret here that we run a construction company here. It's a paper contractor, so we don't have a lot of W-2s. We have 1 or 2 people on staff that are critical employees. But everything else, we're contracting the contractors, right? But there are other folks, and we don't work for anyone but ourselves. And once in a while, someone in our mastermind needs help. We'll help them out. We'll get some construction done. And again, we're not looking to make a huge profit, so we like to run it at a fairly slim rate. But these other guys out there are doing it. We're looking at their prices. Their prices are going up. We know where their points of profit are, and we've looked at many contractors here in Texas, and a lot of times it just seems easier to do it ourselves. It may not be as fast, but that's what we're doing it because we want to control prices. So again, you can make the argument, hey, you can move faster, but probably not. We analyze that stuff and we act accordingly. But all that price is going up. So your rehab are going up. Your handyman costs are going up. The gas it takes to drive around all day, that's more. So now it's actually impacting your business. We haven't seen insurance prices go up, but that's coming. Right? When there's an overall push of inflation, just people will raise prices. Because we have other issues. We have super low hiring. We cannot fill the positions that are available. Now, you can make any argument in the world you could just say, well, people are still in COVID mode and the schools haven't gotten their stuff, or you can go to the other side saying that, all that stimulus money is motivating people not to work. I think it's a combination of all of it, right? I think it is, and I think you're finding a lot of these fast food places now have to offer $12, $13, $14, $15 an hour, which means the price of your burger goes up, the price of your coffee goes up, all that stuff. That's just how inflation works. It just all goes up. But in the construction world, there's a lot of new starts, so those good contractors are disappearing, and there are folks who may be thinking about construction but are just still staying at home, collecting stimulus money, dealing with their kids, and all that other stuff. It's real. There is chaos in the economy, right? You can see it in the stock markets, and it's all over the place. So what it means to you is you got to have a plan, and you got to think about and double think and double work the numbers when you're thinking about taking on a project and moving forward. We'll talk more about that when we come back from the break. This is Robert. I'm with Mr. Texas Real Estate. This is the Texas Real Estate Radio Network. We are, I'd say, less than a week to starting our new fund, and that's very, very exciting. And I know Brian will be talking about that on Wednesday at the Passive Investor webinar at 2 p.m. Again, you can go right on our mrtxre.com website, click the event page, and you can sign up for that event right there. It is very, very exciting for us. We already have about $2 million. I think we signed we bought 7 or 8 houses in the last 72 hours. All great deals, so we're super excited about that. Maybe we'll talk a little bit more about that when we come back. This is Robert with Mr. Texas Real Estate. This is the Texas Real Estate Radio Network. We'll be back. That was 2? Hey, welcome back. This is Robert with Mr. Texas Real Estate, and this is the Texas Real Estate Radio Network. We do a lot of webinars through the month. We have a lot of live events here through the month, so we want you to go to our event page at mrtxre.com. Now, we get folks almost religiously every time we have a webinar. The day after or an hour after, I get the email, or we see the email come in through marketing that says, did you record it? Can I get the recording? Well, you can if you join our Patreon page. So if you join our Patreon group, and you can go right on to MRTXRE, and you'll find the link there. It's $25 a month, and we store and hold all our webinars on there. We also have a whole bunch of classes that we did online. They're all there. You get once a month, you get a sit-down, Ask Mr. Texas Real Estate Q&A. So you get a live Q&A, which turns into an hour-long coaching program for $25, guys. It is tremendous amounts of value. We did our landlord workshop, and we'll do that online probably next month. But we had a guy, I've been to all the clubs, I've been to all the rooms, you're charging $10 or $12 with the fees, and I'm thinking, what value am I going to get for $12? The guy walked out of there saying, my God, this was the greatest class for $10 ever. We give value, guys. We give tons and tons of values. Again, you get live Q&A with the Patreon membership. You get all of our webinars that are up there in the library. And when we do classes online, you get to come for free, or you're going to go ahead and get the recording as well. So for $25 a month, this is a really, really good deal. We're talking about $300 a year, guys. You get tons of information. You get a once-a-month live Q&A with us. So, again, for $300 a year, $25 a month, absolutely take advantage of it. So, all right, tonight we're talking about our economy and what it really means as we sort of practically move through the real estate investing world. And again, everyone will talk about it at a very high level, and I know Jason did, but I'm dealing with the dirt, right? So I can tell you the stuff that we're seeing. Again, labor is up. Materials are up. We saw that rent went up. Rent went up amazingly high. And Jason has always said this. He says, rent doesn't do a steady sort of climb. It's not a real neat progress up. It is just steps. 1 year, it's 3 years, it's at $1,000, and then all of a sudden 1 year, boom, pops up to $1,200. And then that'll hold for 4 years, and boom, you're up to $1,450. Well, we're in one of those booms. That's happening right now. Rent is up, and rent will continue to go up as inflation drives it up. So rent prices are going up, so your numbers will look better on the income side. However, if you're doing lots of rehab like we're doing, we just picked up, again, seven buildings. I think we're at 11 doors. 7, well, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 1. So 4 and 7, yeah. So 7 houses, 11 doors. All are going to need major work. All of them. But we're picking them up for, under $50,000 a door. And if we have to put in $40,000, so what? We have a $90,000 door where we're collecting $1,200 rent on it. That's fantastic for us. And we're buying some turnkey stuff. We're buying houses for like $100,000, $105,000 in some of our hunting grounds, and we're turning around getting $1,200, $1,300, $1,400 rent. So those are fantastic. If you want to learn more, join the mastermind. We'll talk about that at the last segment. Now, appreciation is going up, but I want you to understand a little bit about appreciation. We're seeing 20% year over year on the single family, for sure, across the board. However, the duplex is not moving that much. I would say the duplex is probably getting about 10% appreciation, or half of the single family. And then your 3 and 4 units are probably getting about 6%. Right? So if the appreciation, 100% of the appreciation is at the single family and 50% is at the duplex, and you're about 30% of the appreciation in the marketplace for your 3s and 4s. So when you hear that the market is up 20%, houses are up 20% year over year, if you're thinking about duplexes, just cut that in half, it's 10%, and then take about a third of that number of that 20, so you're at 6% for 3s and 4s. So while there is great demand on single families, and that's retail real estate, there are still some deals out there. We're picking up some 3s and 4s left and right. We're also doing some housing starts. By the end of the year, we should be doing some ground up. But we have to take a very hard look at the numbers. I know there are folks out there that are rushing into this. And I'm hearing a lot of guys getting into ground up. We're doing ground up. And I'm like, has anyone done an absorption study for, Alvin? Have we reached out to the Chamber of Commerce? Have we reached out to the planning department? Do we know that they have done internal numbers to know what their absorption rate is? Meaning, how many more apartment doors and housing doors do they need over the next 1, 3, and 5 years? Are banks even doing it? And I don't think anyone is doing it. I think we're seeing just sort of wild growth. And we're in a very unstable economy right now. It is inflation and labor, the cost of money. There are a lot of variables going on right now. So I would tell you and I would warn you to double and triple check those numbers and to use the worst case scenario. The worst case scenario. Again, if you're thinking about doing ground up, well, I got to tell you, there's 20,000 housing starts. So where's your framing crew coming from? Where's your foundation guy coming from? Where's your electrician and your plumber? Are they still at $750 a fixture? Are they now at $850 a fixture? They're probably at $850, or they will be by the summertime, right? And that means that your plumbing cost just went up 12%. Now, the fixtures may be even more. Maybe they're not even buying all the fixtures. Are you ready for a 6% increase on the materials? So your overall plumbing price might go up 15%. Did you think about it? Did you lay it out? Did you run a worst case and best case scenarios? This is what we need to do because on the ground here, everything is in motion. Okay? And you, as a real estate investor or a landlord, have got to understand how to navigate what's happening in the marketplace. Again, on the good side, prices are up, rents are up. Huzzah! That's awesome. We can't hire enough people, so there's people moving to the area, people getting back to work. Huzzah! On the bad side, there's inflation. Boo! There's not enough workers to build out what you need to do. Boo! Right? So we got a little balance here that we have to analyze and have to look at. Especially if you got a PG on the dang things, right? You want to make sure you're covered. You know, my joke is, and I've said it all the time, when I meet a real estate developer, I say, hey, how long have you been doing real estate developer? And they may say 20 years, 25 years. My joke is, well, how many times have you filed BK? Because those are the guys who are usually left without the chair when the music stops. Hey, this is Robert. We'll be back. Hey, welcome back. This is Robert with Mr. Texas Real Estate. This is the Texas Real Estate Radio Network. We're talking about what it all means. Again, the masks are off, and there's not enough people to hire, and the price of gas is through the roof, and the price of wood is through the roof, but the cost of houses are massively high, and then rents are going up, and it's all out there, and how do we navigate? How does Mr. Texas Real Estate plan to buy $40 million worth of assets in the next 18 months? Right? We got a fund that's coming up. Our plan is to raise enough money to basically go ahead and acquire $40 million worth of 1 to 4 units and small apartments if we feel good about them. I mean the Texas small apartment, right? The Texas apartment or Texas multifamily, as I call it, is how many single-family houses can I put on one lot, right? So there's a bunch of those out there, 5 houses, 7 houses, 9 houses, 13 houses. We're selling one, right? So how do we go about doing that when there's all this sort of unknown? Well, we plan on the worst-case scenario. Again, if you plan for the worst-case scenario, then you'll be, and if it doesn't happen, you'll be happy. And if it does happen, well, then you've already planned it. You're protected. So that's how we kind of look at the next 18 months is what's the worst case scenario? What do we think inflation could go to? How about unemployment? How about housing starts? How about all these things? Where do we think we're going to be? And then we make our decisions accordingly. And that's how we plan on buying $40 million worth of assets over the next 18 months, which is will leave me with 13 months left for my retirement. So very, very exciting. I hate when people in our office don't know that I'm on radio. But what are you doing? Right? There is some unknown. So, again, I would not be rushing into anything. I'd be taking a second, third, fourth look at all my projects. You have to buy them seriously low. Like I think we mentioned, we bought 11 doors. We got 11 doors under contract for $50,000 a door. And we know the rent will be a minimum of $1,000. So even if we have to put in $40,000 into these apartments and these multifamilies, we're in really good, $40,000 a door. We're still in good shape. We're still in good shape. That's the worst case scenario. If you can find those, great. But I think a lot of people are running out there and they're, hey, I got to do ground up. They're ground up. Great. Go do it. But if you haven't done it before, just know that at the end of your ground up career, there's probably a bankruptcy. Because that's how it always ends, right? They get greedy and they want to keep going onto the fifth and sixth and seventh phases of their project when they should really just create the lots and get out. Right? If you're going to do anything, you're basically going out, buying the raw land and converting it, do the Division 0, Division 1 work, and then sell it off and get out. Like, you don't want to create an RV park. You don't want to create your own HOA. You don't want to do any of those things. You want to get out unless you've got really, really good numbers. And those numbers will hold against their worst case scenario. And so we're thinking probably 110 a door will hold against the worst case scenario. We look at things a little bit differently than ARV and cap and all that stuff. It's, hey, can we get this in at 110? Can we put this multifamily up for 115 a door and work our numbers that way? Remember, if you remember Jason's old deal calculator, which is, I believe, part of Patreon and part of the mastermind, and he's updating it. There's 5 ways to analyze a deal. It's not always percentage of ARV. And it's not always cap rate. So you have to look at some certain things. So I'd be very cautious there. But again, if I was becoming a landlord, for those who are joining the mastermind, we're in really good shape. Because we are seeing rents go up and we are buying deals deep, right? And there is depreciation on these things. Resetting the basis and going ahead and doing a portfolio accelerated depreciation, it's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. And so I think this market is screaming for folks to buy and hold. I think flipping is probably 10 to 12 months away. I think it'll be interesting. I think once all those new houses start hitting the market, we'll push that 315 to 350. And the medium house price is 350, then you want to get into flipping again. But right now, we got about a 12-month window. We should be buying everything. And I think Jason says that every day, right? Buy. Just buy everything. We're buying these little pockets. We're buying as many as possible. Again, we're trying to acquire $40 million over the next 18 months. So that's how I would proceed. Now, if you're doing it alone, great. Bully for you. If you need a little help, then let me talk to you about the mastermind for a little bit. This is Mastermind Week. So I'm recording this on Monday. I don't know when you're going to hear it, probably on Tuesday. But last night, Jason sat down and went through a whole bunch of properties, right, that we will go out and find and make offers on, or wholesale, or just straight up represent for our mastermind folks. And then we have a pretty big afternoon and evening on Thursday. We're talking about how our mastermind folks can become influencers in the market and start running their own meetings and getting their folks around them and starting getting them, again, as an influencer in the market. And then Friday and Saturday, we're going to hit it hard. We're going to talk about inflation. We're going to talk about the plan. We're going to talk about some of the numbers. We're going to talk about construction costs. We're going to talk about contractors. Talk about the things to be looking for in the future, right? Some red flags, some indicators in the marketplace. So we have a really, really productive week coming up for those of you that are buying and holding. I've got 4 or 5 people that I'm talking to this week and we're thinking about coming into the mastermind. I hope they do. It's $12,500 for year 1, $7,500 for year 2, $5,000 year 3, $2,500 year 4, and free thereafter. And we want you in. We want to get going. We want to work together. We can do some things as a co-op. We've got access to contractors and property managers and loans, all that stuff to make the process easy. So if you're looking to build out a portfolio or getting into real estate, you're going to give us a call. 281-401-9008, 281-401-9008. Text MASTERMIND to 281-401-9008. So, this is the time, 12, maybe 18 months. At the end of that, might be a different strategy. But we're out there doing it. We're still figuring out the way to grab some free real estate here and there. Not a lot. Once in a while it comes up. And we're building out our fund. We got a new fund. We have some other syndications that we'll talk to our mastermind folks about. And then we should be doing in June, will be a lot more live events. And I think we're going to be doing an investor walk of some of the apartment buildings that we're working on. So that should be good. Look for that. Again, this is Robert with Mr. Texas Real Estate. Check out our website, mrtxre.com. Should be fun. Open house coming up here at the Texas Real Estate Investment Center. Got a little dangerous snack machine back there. I just started I'm doing hard 75 again and walked by that thing. I was like, boy, whose idea was it to put it right next to the entrance? So I have to walk by all that stuff every day. But we'll get it done. I want to see another 15 come off. We're working on that. I know Jason's in the gym every day, and I finally got back to my gym. So exciting stuff. All in the mastermind. Oh, mastermind cruise coming up. The cruise, don't forget. Come to the mastermind preview Thursday. It's $10. Look for it on our website, and we'll talk about the cruise. All right, stay tuned. We're going to talk a little bit more. We'll be back. That's 4, right? All right.